Unit 1 Review by Kayla Serwadi and Reagan Brown.
A hypothesis is a prediction of what you expect to happen in an experiment. It must include the dependent and independent variables. An example is, the higher you drop the ball, the more times it will bounce. The independent variable is the height you drop the ball from, and the dependent variable is the number of bounces.
The independent variable is the variable that you change in order to perform an experiment. Dependent variable, the variable you will collect data about. The independent variable would be the amount of water the flower gets. The dependent variable would be the flower because you collect data of how much water affects the flower.
Distance is the total travel made by an object, and displacement is how far and what direction an object is from its starting point. If the boy traveled 1 kilometer east, 1 kilometer south, and 1 kilometer west, his total distance is 3 kilometers, and his displacement is 1 kilometer south.
Acceleration is a change in velocity. The boy goes from standing still to walking east, then running back west, so the boy changed his speed and direction.
This is Abby and Caitlin's fantastic scientific adventure. To create a graph, you need your x and y axis. Label them for your experiment and add the data points. Then put on an appropriate title.
Albert is boiling an egg. The higher the temperature of the water, the faster the egg will cook. The dependent variable is the egg's cooking time. It is shown on the y-axis. The independent variable is the water temperature, which is shown on the x-axis.
Distance is how far an object has moved. Displacement is the distance and direction of an object's change in position from the start. Albert loves to run. Today he's running across the bridge. The total distance of his run is 1 kilometer. It's Sunday and Albert is running to church. First, he runs 20 kilometers west, then 5 kilometers south, and 15 kilometers east to get to church. His total distance for his run is 40 kilometers, but his displacement is 5 kilometers south and 5 kilometers west from his starting point.
There are two different types of motion shown on graphs, acceleration and constant motion. Acceleration is shown through a curve or a change in direction. Constant motion is shown through a straight line.
So a short tip that I do is in my head when I'm reading, I say the plant growth depends on the different chemicals and fertilizers. So the dependent is the plant's growth and the independent is the different fertilizers.
When starting on a hypothesis, make sure you know everything about the problem. An hypothesis can be tested by conducting an experiment or creating a model.
Has a positive acceleration, which is the green light.